Alright class, this is the last video lesson I'm going to create, and it has to do with bubble sorts. Bubble sorts are created using arrays, so that's why you learned about arrays first, and then you'll learn about bubble sorts. I have put a tutorial in the tutorial folder for this section, and I want you to watch that because it gives you an idea what I'm talking about. So if you'll watch that first and then watch this, I think you'll do a little bit better. Okay, so here is our bubble sort example. So we have our int main. Today we're going to read in a list of GPA values from an input file, then sort those values and output the sorted list back to the screen. Alright, so what I did, I created a TXT file. I used Notepad and I created student.txt and I added a bunch of grades. And if you count, there's 17 grades here. The system knows this because of the spaces between each. Remember, we talked about how it reads in these values from a file. We've talked about how files are read. And these are integers, right? So it just reads these in. And so that's my file. And I created this using Notepad. And I went to this little folder right here. And I copied it wherever I saved it originally. And then I opened this folder and I pasted it in here. There it is, student.txt. And then I can open it, which is what I've done here so you can see it. All right, so back to my program. So this file that I created and made a bunch of grades with is stored inside of the same folder as this bubble.cpp, bubblesort.cpp. They are stored together. All right, so that way it'll run, okay? So I created an input file variable called WeFile, okay? So input file stream, that's my data type, and the variable is WeFile. You open a file for input called student.txt, which, that's what I did. You need to create this file using Notepad, then save it in the same location as the source CPP file for this program. We've done this before. We've created input files before, so you should be comfortable. The data needs spaces between each data element. We've talked about that before. The space is seen as a sign from the compiler to go to the next value. So it's the next value. Okay. So here's our WeFile.open student.txt. So we're saying open this file so you can read it. So you need to save the file student.txt in with your CPP file so you can run this program. So you're going to create your own student.txt file. I created mine. You'll have to create yours. All right. The below decision statement will ensure the input file was found. So if not WeFile.is open, so if it's not open, if that WeFile is not open, see out the input file was not found. System pause, return. What this does is let you know, hey, you didn't put that file in the right location, or you didn't name it right, you did something wrong. Okay, so that'll help you find. You have to name it student.txt exactly like this is named here, or change the name in your program, and you could do that. You could change this name, and then as long as they match, it'll work. Okay, now below is the code to declare your array variable that will store up to 20 GPA values. See the 20 in the brackets, and that should have an N there. Okay, so we have double, so this is going to be a double, so I could, in my student.txt, I could have 89.5 and 99.3, I could, because we stored it, we said they're doubles, okay? And I say I could have 20, but I don't have to have 20. I have 17 in my file, but you could have up to 20, okay? And the array can hold up to 20 values or elements. In my case, I only need 17. You could make your data for your student TXT file to have 20, or it could have 15, but not more than 20, all right? Then, int page num equals 20. So we're setting our page num to 0 to get it started, because we're Remember, the first element in your array has a position of 0. So you set your index, we are calling page num, to 0. This initializes the index. Below is the code to read in an unknown number of GPA values, because remember I said you put any number of values you want in here. So this will read it in until the end of file. That's what that EOF means. So while it's not we file's end of file, so while we're not at the end of the we file end of file, okay, that's what the not right here is. While it's not, we're going to read it in. So the first one it reads, we file reads in, is GPA, and page num is going to be 1, the first loop, right? I mean 0, I'm sorry, because we set it at 0. So it'll be GPA 0. So 89 is going to be saved in GPA with a little bracket 0, okay? And then it does we add 1 to page num, so now page num is 1. Do the loop again, and now the next data element will be read into GPA 1, and that will be 99. So 99 will be put into GPA 1, and then we add 1 to page num, and now page num is 2. So GPA 2 is going to be 77, and so on, and it reads every one of those items until it gets to the end of file. When it gets to the end of the file and it sees no more data, then this loop will end, and you will have built your array. You'll have your array built. So this is GPA 0, GPA 1, GPA 2, GPA 3, GPA 4, GPA 5, GPA 6, etc. Okay? That's the variables for that array. All right, so we got our array built. So now we've got it all built, and the compiler knows it's there, and it has that array, and now you can use it. And then I see out and I say the number of GPA values is, and I put page num, and that tells you, hey, there's 17 grades here, or 10, or however many you create in your student.txt file. Now we're going to do the actual sort. So we built our array. Now we're going to sort this array. See what order it's in? It's not in order. It doesn't go, from least to greatest or greatest to least in any way, right? It's in a mess. It's all different. Like 89 is less than 99, but 99 is greater than 77, and so on. They're not sorted. This section of the program right here will sort that data. And this is called a bubble sort, and that's why I wanted you to watch that video, because it helps you understand what I'm talking about. It simplifies it, but gives you a picture of what's happening. So we have to do iterations. We have to go through this several times, okay, just to make sure everything's sorted in order, because you only compare 2 at a time. So we have our outer loop. This it uses nested loops. The inner one will finish, then the outer one implements once. And we've talked about nested loops before. Okay, so first we say integer b equals 0, so we set b equals 0, and as long as b is less than the page num, or the index, in my case less than 17, we'll do this loop. Okay, so we add 1 and we do the loop. But remember, now there's another loop in here, and this one will finish, and then we'll do the outer loop. And then this one will finish, then we do the outer loop. So this one says compare 2, so we go integer a equals 0, as long as a is less than page num minus 1, because the iteration, in other words, the number of times that you compare the elements, is elements minus 1, and you'll see that on that other video if you watch it to the end, okay? So we compare. Is GPA A greater than GPA A plus 1? Well, if the first time we go, this is GPA 0, and this is 0 plus 1, so that's 99. These compare. Is this greater than that? That's what we say, right? Is this greater than that? Well, no, it's not. Oh, well, then go around the loop, because we don't need to do anything, because you only do the if statement if it's true. So it was false. We go around, and now we compare the next. We'd add 1, right, because we went through the loop. So now A is 1, and this one, page num minus 1. So we're not done with our loop, and then we added 1. So, all right, so this is 1, and then this is 2. So that means we're going to compare these two, 99 and 77. So is 99 greater than 77? Yes, it is. Oh, well then take 99, put it in a temporary location, just hold it for a second, and then I'm going to put 77 where 99 was sitting, okay? And then I'm going to take where 99's temporary location and put it where 77 was sitting, and now we just swap them. And now we're going to go compare the next two. And this will continue till we do all of the numbers in that file, and we get to the end, or page num minus 1, and we go out and we go, oh, we haven't compared them enough times to bubble all the numbers up, because you have to keep comparing, keep doing iterations until you compare all of them enough times to bubble the highest ones to the top. And so that is a bubble sort. And like I said, watch both videos to make sure that you understand. And here's just where I was showing those positions of those arrays. Okay? All right. I hope this helps you understand bubble sorts. And we're almost through the course. Yay!